But you can't use auto brake in career mode, and back then was when I was first starting to play these. Well, actually, was when I was just getting done with like NASCAR Inside Line, and that game's auto brake sucks innumerable dicks. So I just don't use it at all, and I use that and it has this little indicator that says brake now, and I use that to try and win races with. And of course, you know, that worked. It told you that you have to brake, but in NASCAR Thunder 2004, it doesn't give you any indication when you have to brake. You have to figure that shit out on your own. And I was too dumb to figure it out then, and when I picked it back up again a couple of months ago and I started playing it, you know, I started figuring it out. Okay, these tracks, you go this fast in the corners. And I'm a natural now. Like, it'll take me maybe the first corner of qualifying to figure out what speed to go. And it'll be off to the races from there. Most of them I have memorized, though. And everything's good there. Everything is peachy keen. Peachy. But originally, that was the reason that I didn't play it, is because I was terrible at using auto brake. And now that I am not, because the reason I picked the game up again, I think, was to do the review of the game where I would say, I can't play this game because of auto brake. And then I started playing it again, and I was like, wow, this game's a douchebag. So I started playing it some more, and then once I figured out how to work the auto brake, I was like, oh, hey, this game isn't so bad after all. I can understand why people like it. And then I started playing it for a long time, and suddenly Jeff Green has 13 wins. So, yeah. That is the story of how I started playing NASCAR Thunder 2004. The opening videos are also in 60 frames per second. I think these opening videos in NASCAR 2007 are only... Actually, there is no ones in 2007. It stopped in 2006. The opening videos in 2005 and 2006, I think, are only in 30 frames. Which is astounding. They must have had to fill up the disk space for some reason, and that's what they used, was 60 frames per second intro videos. But I guess they used up all the space in this one and still wanted to use those, so they cut back to 30 frames. That's what I assume happened there. But yeah, we were talking about Fuel at one point. These Things is one of my favorite songs now. I play that in the car a lot, mostly because that was how I'd get to and from work and school. Is I'd play the song in the car because it took about exactly the length of the time of the song to get from my house to the school. So I'd always listen to that song. But for some reason, I guess I must have kicked it up a notch while driving, because I'm getting there with about 20 seconds to spare on the song, so I must be really booking it or something. What is this Go Army car? What in the world? That's a different paint scheme for the 47. I'd never seen that before. That surprised me. I didn't know there were alternate paint schemes in the truck series. What? Flat? Flat? What is happening? Is this even a thing? Well then. So that was a surprise. Yeah. Like, I have that connecting device where you can connect your iPod to this tape that plays in the car, because I don't have a CD player because I'm a poor fag and can't figure out how to install one. So I just use that little device and I connect my iPod to it and play music that way. I used to just burn CDs and then record those onto tapes. But then I ran out of CDs to burn on. I mean, the package that I had lasted from the moment I got my computer until I got the player, the tape connecting device thing. So I got my money's worth out of the burnable CDs, but I still, it's a lot better now. It is way better now. Charity event. Who gives a shit? I have, I think, right now, like 6 songs to put on to the solo album that I keep talking about. And I feel like that might just be enough. Like, I'm going to have this thing called Oddities where I have, like, original recordings of Fuck Your Test. Like, the opening 4 videos. And, like, the very first thing that I ever recorded on guitar. And that was going to be like a 20-minute thing of just oddities and stuff. So that's 7, I think, 6 or 7 right there. And you know, 2 of the songs that I wrote weren't even, like, I know for sure one of them wasn't, but let me check here quick. Yeah, 2 of them weren't even a plan to begin with. Like, they just came about because I needed something to record. Like, I was just thinking, oh, this would be cool to make a song out of, and then, boom, the song happened. And they both turned out pretty well, in my opinion. Like, they sound good. Except, of course, the problem of my voice. Like, that's a thing. But I figured out that I think the reason why my music sounds, why my voice sounds so terrible in songs is because I hear the voice that I hear, and then when it's recorded, that's the voice that other people hear. So when I'm singing, I adjust my vocal cords to the level that I hear, to like the tuning that I hear. And the sounds that everyone else hear is like about a little bit sharper. If we're going to be going into musicians' terminology, it's a bit sharper than what I hear when I'm talking right now. Like right now, I'm talking with like a low voice of sorts, but you're hearing probably about this. You were probably hearing about this right here. And I was hearing it like, oh, like that. So, yeah. It's just a slight difference, but I go into like the pitch on my sounds and the, like I figured this out when I recorded Ether. And I was like, why does this sound so terrible? So I reduced the pitch of the sound a little bit, and I like, oh, that's why. And like the version of Fuck Your Test that I recorded yesterday is the first ever version with the correct vocals. Like the original, like the very, very first one was the only time that I ever got the vocals right and the instrumentation wrong in my recordings of Fuck Your Test. And I have like 5 or 6 different versions of Fuck Your Test. And yeah. Oh golly gee, that was not very good. That was terrible driving. So yeah, yesterday's Fuck Your Test was the first ever time that both vocals and instrumentation were correct.
That's one less guy we gotta worry about. All clear. We're right there. Let's see if we can lead this thing.
So that was pretty nuts if you ask me. But yeah, it's the most crazy sounding of the recordings ever. Like it's just nuts. The song is nuts. And I don't know if you're gonna hear the version when it's released. Like I don't know if I'm gonna record yet another version. I don't think I need to, because the previous one was like perfect except for a couple of things were wrong. Like some of the production was obvious, and of course the vocals were wrong. And there were a few other issues. This one is probably as close to perfect as it can get without having an actual band behind me to actually play the songs with.
Just making a move. Low side, low side. You're on 3 wide. Still beside you.
Like, once I get an actual band. Like, what I originally was going to do was right when I got to college, I was going to look around and see, like, okay, these guys are drummers, these guys are guitarists, this guy's a bass player. I have some people to make some music with here. And then I started thinking, well, if I'm going to transfer away after the first year, then what's the point of starting the band here? Why not just wait until I get to my next college? And you know, I'm still thinking. Like, I was even thinking of starting the band, like, now, like, back in 2013 when I first started writing the songs. Like, okay, who would be a good bandmate out of these people that I know?